Welcome to another enrichment by Amy Brown. Thanks for joining me. This one is called Getting Outdoors with Your Girl Scouts, as you can read on the screen. This is one that I did for my service unit a couple of months ago and just wanted to record it so that everybody could see it that wasn't at the meeting, and then whoever else is out there in Girl Scout land, you're welcome to watch this as well. Just want to say that it is definitely unofficial. I'm not a trainer or facilitator or anything like that for my council. This is just something I do on the side for our service unit, and thought I would record it and upload them to YouTube. So if you hear something that you say that's not what I think, just get in touch, with me. Don't get in touch with the council, because they'll say she's not a trainer, as I just said. So I also want to stick this in here. This is another disclaimer that I put in here. Sometimes I say things that are a little off the wall, and either people think they're funny or they give me a strange look. So I just want to let you know that my sense of humor is kind of off, I guess. Kind of like just now. All right, well, let's go on and get started. This program is about how to incorporate the outdoors in your troop. And just so you know, a lot of people, when they hear, my troop is involved with the outdoors, they automatically assume that it's about camping and backpacking and high adventure and all this sort of thing. And personally, I really don't feel that's the case. A lot of leaders, and they can get a little intimidated by that and say, I didn't grow up doing this. I don't know if I can do it. No, you can do it. And I just want to reiterate again, the outdoors, it's not just about camping and hiking and doing all that sort of thing. It's about learning about our world. It's about just getting outside. I think that we don't do that enough in this day and age. We tend to like our air conditioning, me included, and we just don't get outside, and we miss out on a lot. And I think it's really important to bring this to the girls in our troop. And it's also about how to take care of our world. This goes back to the leave no trace and leave a place better than you found it, as we say in Girl Scouts. I think this is really important for the outdoors, because then if we don't take care of it, then other people are not going to enjoy it as well. There have been a number of outdoor studies with children, and as you can see here, girls and children who spend more time outside when they're younger, they're less likely to develop disorders as adults. Obviously, it's a good way to involve physical exercise, and for children that have something like ADHD, it really does make a difference. And I can speak to this personally as someone who does have ADHD. I need my green time and my outdoor time. That's kind of the best medicine that I can get. And it really does make a difference with the way I feel, not just that day, but for the rest of the week. And also, a lot of people, may not really realize it, but it does enhance leadership, because I think that it exposes children to a lot of different things that they've just got to think outside of the box, and just kind of opens up their world. And I think that leads to leadership, and that's been shown in studies. Now, GSUSA has 4 pillars for their program, in case you weren't aware, with outdoors being one of them. Back when they revamped the program, I guess back in 2008, something along those lines, the outdoors kind of took a back seat. And in 2014, the membership got together, and at the National Council session, they made a big push and said, hey, we need to bring back the outdoors, because it's part of our history. We're just really missing out on a lot if we don't bring this back. And thankfully, GSUSA listened, and they have done a lot since then to bring it back, including programming and whatnot, and resources. There are 4 different things that they have found through their studies, which I'll get to in a second. competence, interest, competence, and stewardship. And these are the ways that girls can benefit from the outdoors. I'm not going to read all this, and I know you're not supposed to put all this wordy stuff into a PowerPoint, but I wasn't really sure how else to present it. But just so you know, Girl Scouts has something called the Girl Scout Research Institute, and they do studies of all sorts. You can find these studies on the GSUSA website. If you go to the just girlscouts.org, and then you click on About in the menu, and then look on the left-hand side, I believe it says Research, and that will take you to the Girl Scout Research Institute, where there's a listing of all of the studies that they've done, and they're PDFs that you can download and read. But they've done a couple of different outdoor ones, and these are the 6 key findings that they found. And like I said, I'm not going to read through this. You can see it themselves. But this is really important to take with you as a Girl Scout leader. Also, I wanted to zero in on this. This is another, the Girl Scouts Soar in the Outdoors. That's another Research Institute report that they've done. And this is just number 6. And I just want to really emphasize that the more girls go outside with their troops, the happier they are with their Girl Scout experience. So really, if you want to have a really successful troop, you've got to integrate the outdoors. And like I said, this is not about going camping and rock climbing and doing all that sort of thing. I mean, there are ways to get girls outside, and I have found girls want to get outside. We kind of say a lot about this generation, being stuck on their screen time and not wanting to do stuff. But I mean, I have personally found that the girls in my troop, they love getting outdoors. I mean, once you introduce them to it and they feel comfortable doing it, it's a novelty to them, because I don't think kids get outside like they used to. I mean, just one time, not to ramble on, but one time I was with a leader during one of our service unit summer camps, and I was amazed at how the girls were so tentative about just being outside. We were at a state park and doing an outdoor program that a ranger was leading, and some of the girls were just, I mean, it was almost like they were scared. They didn't want to get down and look at the ground. They acted like, something was just going to jump out and bite them, and I was just really amazed by that. And the other leader that was with me made a good point. She said, if you think about the neighborhoods that kids grow up in, there's a lot of neighborhoods now where they just completely come in and just raise just woods, or they're built on former farmland, so there are no trees, and there's no streams and creeks and all that sort of thing. So when they get outside, if they even do, the houses are close together, and they just don't get that outdoor experience and spending that time outside like some of us did growing up. I mean, I personally had woods and a stream in the back of my yard, so I was very lucky, and that's where I think I developed my love of outdoors in addition to Girl Scouts. So I mean, it's just a different experience these days that kids have. I'm not going to go through this, but you may have seen this before. This is the outdoor progression that GSUSA puts out. Make sure that if you're a troop leader, that you look at this and definitely follow it, because you don't want to push girls into doing something that they are not comfortable in, because it will make an impression, and they'll be turned off by whatever it is that's outdoor based from there on out. You want to expose them to new things, but you don't want to necessarily throw them in the deep end. So if you haven't seen this before, just look for it. Just do a search on Girl Scouts outdoor progression, and you will find this chart. The next few slides I'm not going to read through, but I just kind of wanted to point out some of the GSUSA programming that's out there for the different levels. Thankfully, the past few years especially, GSUSA has come out a lot with outdoor stuff. And one more thing I wanted to point out about GSUSA bringing back the outdoors is a couple years ago they had a not a I guess a survey, not a contest per se, but it was a survey, and they asked girls, I forgot the name of it, but they asked girls, what are the new badges that you would like to see? And I think they did it for 2 or 3 years in a row. And hands down, for all 3 years, girls picked outdoor-based badges. I mean, it was just a runaway. So that also, I think, made a statement to GSUSA, hey, you know, we need to get this back in. So the past few years, a lot of this outdoor programming has come out. And so this is Daisy, and it's got badges and journeys. And here is Brownie programming. I would want to point out that in some badges, you're going to find that it's not necessarily like an outdoor badge per se, but there are steps and requirements in it that you can integrate the outdoors into it. Here's cadets. Now, just want to say for Night Owl, that's in the outdoor journey. I would have put trees in there. This is just my personal opinion. Y'all probably are not interested in it, but I'm going to say it anyway. Originally, they had trees in there, and I think they should have kept that. I'm not sure why they swapped out Night Owl, unless there was just, they saw the picture of the owl and somebody said, hey, it's outdoor. I probably should not be saying this, but again, my mouth opens and things come out. But anyway, trees is... but anyway, I'll move on. Here's senior. You're going to find, I'm going to say that in some of the cadets, senior and ambassador, there's kind of some overlap in some of the badges. So just kind of know that going into it. And you're not supposed to double dip, but sometimes it is a little like, oh, we've already done this, and we got to figure out another way to do this. Here's ambassador. As you can see, there are running, like each level has trail adventure and snow and climbing adventure. Those came out last year. You know, each level's got the Think Like a Citizen, Scientist, STEM journey, and everybody's got a journey, an outdoor journey, which is basically 3 badges and a Take Action project slapped on. But glad they have it, and I actually like that format of a journey where you've got 3 badges put together. Here's some additional GSUSA programming that I just wanted to include, and look at me, I am pushing volunteer toolkit, so yay me. When you go through, when you add the different badges, you're going to see this icon, the tree icon. And so what that means is kind of like I mentioned before, the incentives, you know, and that's not a outdoor badge, if you will, but there are requirements and activity plans that you can do outdoors. And so what that tree icon, that's just kind of a notification that, hey, here's an here's an activity that we can do outdoors. And that's a way to integrate the outdoors. Like I said, it's not about camping and hiking and all that sort of thing. Just getting outside is what's important. Also, there's a Girl Scout Ranger program where girls can earn a patch. So just do a Google search for Girl Scout Ranger programming, and the requirements for that will come up. Here's some unofficial stuff. And since I'm not an official facilitator or trainer, I can say these things. Some councils have this little patch program, if you will, and girls can earn charms based on the outdoor skills that they do. Our council, South Carolina Mountains to Midlands, has its own kind of charm set, and so do some other councils, and they all kind of share the same charm. So you can get these in our shops, but there's some more that other councils have that you can order online that our council doesn't necessarily. There's also a charm set through Patchwork Designs that you can get, and it's kind of pretty much the same, but the charms are a little bit different. Just kind of whatever you know or the girls like. There are also some council's own patch programs, and I'll get to Patchwork Designs in a little bit. But take a look. If you go to my resource database, which I'll talk about later, you can find a listing of all the council's own badges and patches, and they've really kind of put out some good ones. Like you'll see there the NorCal, that's a really cool one. And when I say they're rockers, what they are is just individual patches that they kind of not click together, but they can put them together to make a big patch. So that's something you can integrate. Also, like I mentioned before, Patchwork Designs has a lot of patch programs. This is just a few of them, but it's a good way to do, like if you're in an encampment or something like that and you've got to plan your own programming, it's really neat to just kind of throw these in. They're very simple and they're fun to do, and it's just something else, you know, that they can earn in addition to a badge. You know, like if you're at a Camp Way Back and you're doing the geocaching, just throw one of these in. It's good variety. I mean, I highly suggest these Patchwork Design patch programs, and they're neat designs too. Some other ideas, just doing nature crafts. And I'm of the opinion, you know, you really don't have to earn something all the time. You don't have to do something. Just do something for the fun of it, you know, because the girls enjoy it. We don't have to earn something. But just a nature craft, that's getting outside. You know, if they go and gather up the materials, they're outside doing that. Playing games outdoors, there's a number of games that you can find. If you're in our service unit, you can come across those as well, and I can help you do that. Scavenger hunts, nature scavenger hunts. See, again, this is not about going camping and all this sort of thing, just doing little things like this. Yes, going on hikes. Again, you don't have to hike the Appalachian Trail. Just find something in a state park, nearby state park, or a nature preserve, something like that. Camp work days. I mean, I'm a big camp proponent, so our council hosts camp work days where volunteers and girls can come in and just do some little projects at the camps. Just, again, it's about being outside. There's also something called 1,000 Hours Outside. It's kind of a patch program. Just do a search for 1,000 hours, and basically what girls can do, it's for any child, but it's a good one. But basically what they do is they just kind of X off every single hour that they spend outside and try to get to 1,000 hours. And also, if you're from this area, here in the upstate of South Carolina, there's a number of field trips. This is just a few of them that I just wanted to highlight. Lake Conisty Nature Preserve is in Malden. It's a really good one, and they've got a lot of educational programs that they offer. Paris Mountain State Park, again, they have a ranger program. The woman, I'm blanking out on her name right now, Kathy, I can't remember her last name. But anyway, she's a former Girl Scout leader. She's very, very good, very engaging with the girls. Highly recommend that. There's like a forest ecology program, and I can't remember what the other one is, but we've done the forest ecology one for our City Slicker summer camp a number of times, and she does a great job. Tina Smith, she is a volunteer in Spartanburg. She's awesome. I love me some Tina Smith. She was my outdoor trainer. But she hosts nature classes at Camp Mary Elizabeth and at Hatcher Gardens. Does a great job, and she's just awesome. I can't say enough about Tina. And also, Pisgah National Park is not too far from us. It's about an hour and a half. And the Cradle of Forestry, if you have not been there, it is a really cool place, and the girls love it. So again, this is just kind of a high-level hit of things that I wanted to highlight. Here's some other ideas. Just wanted to throw some things out. They have these laminated guides that are, they're not pocket, they're a little bit bigger than pocket, but they're laminated and they're awesome. And what I do is I have a number of them, and then here are the ones I have. I think I took out the snakes one because that's kind of creepy. But you can find these guides at these locations and probably some other places too. And what I like about them, and I wish I could show you in person, but obviously I can't do that. But what they do is they open up, and it's just kind of a guide, a visual guide to finding, to identifying butterflies and trees and something like that. And the reason why I do this, I carry them around in my backpack, is we may be walking around camp or wherever, and like a butterfly goes by, and the girls say, "Miss Amy, what kind of butterfly is that?" And I'll say, "I don't know, let's find out." And then I'll pull this guide out and hand it to them, and then they figure it out, based on looking at it, seeing what they remember. And it's a good learning experience, and it kind of opens up their mind to doing this sort of thing. It's something that they don't necessarily do in class or outside, so this is a great way to integrate the outdoors. One thing I've done before that the girls really liked, I did this at Camp Mary Elizabeth and at way back, but create a nature guide in log. It's really cheap. Just get the small notebooks from the Dollar Tree, print out as you can see here, here's one about trees, or I've got one about Camp Mary Elizabeth, the wildflowers located there. You'll have to do it in April. But what they do is they just cut it out. They cut out the different sheets and paste them in the notebook. They can make notes in their guides, and it's just about, again, opening up their world and observing and all that sort of thing. I used this with the Citizen Scientist Journey, and when there was no Wi-Fi, because a lot of these journeys that GSUSA puts out, you have to have online service, and we obviously don't have that way back. And also too, I kind of like, you got 12 girls crowded around one phone. We need to get them all engaged. So this is a good way to do it. Here's some outdoor resources. I personally like the Outdoor Education Girl Scouts book. Some trainers I know are kind of about it, but I like it. I think it's a good overview. It's a good start for new leaders. It's a Girl Scout. GSUSA does not they haven't updated it in a while, but you can find it. I actually got mine off the GSUSA store, but I don't think they carry it anymore. But if you do a search on Amazon or eBay, it comes up pretty quickly, and there's different editions like through the years. So I would just get it for your collection. Like I said, there are some things that are probably dated in it, but I still think it's a good resource. Also, REI has really good expert advice on things. Some of this does kind of get into the outdoor training type things, but I just wanted to throw it out there. I've got a number of outdoor links on my resource database that I've got, which there's the address, and I'm going to have all these links in the video description underneath on YouTube. So just take a look at that, and if you have any questions, just get in touch with me. And when I did this presentation or service unit, one of the leaders asked me, I just don't know, I don't have a lot of experience doing this, and I'm nervous about getting the girls outside, and she was talking about taking them on a camping trip. What do you think we should do? You can do it. You can do it. Just do it. That's, the Nike. Just do it. Just jump in. I don't think you can ever be fully prepared, because I'm not going to say things go wrong, but things come up that you just can't necessarily plan for, and that's part of Girl Scouts is you've got to be able to think on your feet and get the girls help. They're creative. I don't think we give girls enough credit. Get them active and say, hey, how do we solve this issue? And then I stuck in The Sound of Music. I feel confident, so I'm not going to sing the song, but just, you can do it. Just like I said, just jump in. It'll be fun. When it comes to outdoor education, you will kind of have to stretch out there and kind of learn some stuff on your own, but I love that kind of thing. I love learning about stuff and just being outside, and I think you will too once you get into it. At this point, if you're not from our council, you're welcome to turn off the video if you haven't already. But these are just some things specific to our council. Here are the camps. I think they're great resources. They're a safe place that leaders can, get their feet wet when it comes to the outdoor experience. Our service unit has a scavenger hunt patch program that you can do. Basically what you do is you just go from place to place, and it's, what does this plaque say at the flagpole? And they write it down, and it's $1 per patch. If you're not in the service unit, just kind of get in touch with me if you're interested in doing the patch program. And there's a generic scavenger hunt too that you can download, and I'm gonna like I said, I'm gonna have all these links on my resource database and in the YouTube comments or description. I put 1 hour, 40 minutes, all that stuff. That's just where we are in Simpsonville from our service unit. That's just to let you know that we're very lucky. We don't have to go very far to get to one of our properties. So definitely take advantage of it, because, they're there. We need to use them. Also, I've got a resource. There's a bunch of field trips that you can take that are just a short distance from the camps. If you're spending the weekend and you're not really sure what to do programming wise. Like I said, it can be intimidating because you're like, I've got the whole weekend. What am I going to do? There's plenty to do. And just ask me if you need help, because I love doing this stuff. Now, specific to our service unit. In our library and inventory, we've got a bunch of stuff that you can check out. We've got that Patchwork Design Vintage Outdoor Scouting Skills booklet. We've got a number of books that you can use. We've got an orienteering kit, and again, if you need like a little tutorial on it, I'll be glad to help you. And we've got a number of games, outdoor games, that you can find in books. So please take advantage of these resources. That is it. This has been an unofficial presentation by Amy Brown. So I hope this has been helpful. Like I said, just get in touch with me if you want more information about this, and you can do it. The outdoors is a great place, and we all can benefit from doing it, and it really does help the Girl Scout experience, and the girls will always remember it if you integrate it. So I will catch you next time. Thanks for watching and listening.